closer? Or?
No, sorry. Can you go from the top?
Yeah,
That's
sure.
all right.
All the time. It would take like 1 hour now from now on.
Okay,
When you put this here. Well, the club was more or less founded in 1910, which means that we are now 103 years of age this year, which is not actually correct because I think some guys just said that on one day back in the 19 whatever years that they've been founded in 1910, but so the club is like rather old. On the other hand, we didn't achieve too much on the trophy base, so which made the club very famous in the last 30 years is more or less the supporter scene, which changed a lot in the 1980s. Before that, St Pauli was more or less like a very small club with a small attendance, with just regular families and nothing special. And then in the 1980s, German football in the first division became got something like a hooligan problem. Many right-wing hooligans attended the matches in many clubs. For example, in Hamburg SV, in Hamburg, the big club in Hamburg. And from that point, many left-wing supporters didn't attend matches anymore, or didn't know where to go. And coming from a very big squad house scene in Hamburg in the middle of the 1980s, there were many people from the left-wing side, from the squad houses, and left-wing supporters from Hamburg SV, which had the need to go to a football stadium without having problems with right-wing people in their own stand. And so a huge amount of people just went to St Pauli matches.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Okay.
From out of nowhere. And this was like the start of the of the whole thing, which you can see right now. The first punk rock guys, punks coming to St Pauli matches, and one of the guys eventually took a skull and crossbone flag with him from his foreguard from the squad house and took it to the stadium, and this became like a strong symbol for the new supporter scene from St Pauli. And it was just, I think this was the start from it. So that's where the first left-wing guys came as an organized thing, like stood together in the middle of the Gegengrade stand as the Black Bloc, which had never been there before in German football. But from that on, politics was so left-wing politics was one of the big issues of the supporter scenes. Like when the club was thinking about a new stadium in the end of the 1980s, which would have been one of the first multi-purpose arenas in Germany, the so-called Sports Dome in St Pauli. The St Pauli supporters got together and got together with the St Pauli with the people living in St Pauli, and created some kind of protest movement against this multi-purpose arena. And in the end, they stopped the club to think about the new stadium. And so the old Military Stadium, which was now torn down, stayed for another 20 years. And from this movement against the sports dome, the St Pauli supporter scene, they had like the feeling to have a place to get together, to connect to the quarter of St Pauli, to the people living here, and this was actually the birth of the Fanland St Pauli as a base for supporters to get together. Well, this is one good thing on German football. We have the 50+1 rule, which prevents that most of the clubs won't be bought by one guy, like in other clubs in England or Spain or wherever, or Italy.
How does 50-1 work?
This is so in Germany, most football clubs, except a few special examples, are coming from a long history football club in Germany. You might have known, might have heard about this. If you got an interest in a special thing, you found a club, which is member based. Then, so in sports it's the same. So you've got plenty of sports clubs doing sports, and the professional sports clubs, football clubs, they all come from member based sports clubs in the beginning. So nowadays you have like Bayern Munich, which is a shareholder company and stuff like that. But from the start, where they all come from, they are member based. So when the Bundesliga was founded, the rule was given that a club has always to be has always to have 50 plus 1% of the 50 plus 1% have to belong to the member based club.
Right.
So even if Bayern Munich is a shareholder company, 50 plus 1% belong to Bayern Munich. In Germany it's called eingetragener Verein, which is so it's got to be I don't know. I check in the internet for the vocabulary. So it's got to be a membership based club anyway in the end. Not at all. Oh, sorry. This was part of the first the question before, I think, which I didn't answer right now. So, to be honest, St Pauli is well known for the supporter scene, and it's I think it's still very easy for supporters to have an impact on the club's management. But to be honest, the club's management is a club management, and they are businessmen and they're doing a business. So when they hire a new player, they would like have a look on the record of the player and decide whether to hire him or not. And it's not to ask him if he's left wing or if he's right wing or if he's interested in politics anyway. So coming to that, I think we don't have too much influence from the supporters on the club. But on the other hand, it's very easy for supporters to have an impact. Like when we were the first club to have a stadium order which prevents people to show right-wing politics on their T-shirts, banners, whatever, and to shout homophobic or whatever chants. It's forbidden in St Pauli. We were one of the first clubs to forbid it from the stadium law, rule, whatever, and so there are a few examples which show that it's still very easy to have a politic impact on the club.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, to be honest, it's still a club which is run by a businessman.
Of course, yeah.
Right. So I always have struggles and fights and discussions with them. But on the other, they will discuss with us. So they take the fight and try to discuss with us. So it's not like when Bayern Munich's boss Dieter Höhne says, "Oh, I don't care about the supporters. We don't care about the money coming from tickets anyway, because we earn much more money by other contracts, like commercial contracts."
Yeah. I guess it's with St Pauli, without the fans, without this impact,
Yeah.
they
That's what I would say. That's what I would say, but I don't agree. But I don't know that every member of the management would agree with that. So it's still a daily struggle to show them and to convince them that it's all based on the fans. And if the fans wouldn't be there, St. Pauli would be just a normal club like Paderborn or whatever.
league or
The what? The what is it?
I mean, like, and do you think if they did get to that level, there would be a danger that the fan would lose this cult status and?
Sure. So I've been following the club for, I don't know, since back in the end of the 1980s, and the club changed a lot, and the supporter scenes changed a lot, which is quite normal, I think. So every time we promoted to the first Bundesliga, Erste Bundesliga, the audience changed a lot, and there were many people just coming to the Millantor because we played Bayern Munich, and many people just say like, where's the use in playing Paderborn, for example, like the 20th time in a row? if you could instead play Hamburgers V, like the local derby, I wouldn't think of international games. It's but sure. On the one hand, I would like to promote to Erste Bundesliga, to the first division, again to play Hamburgers V, Werder Bremen, Wolfsburg, Bayern Munich, Dortmund, Schalke, because they're the big names, and you always want to fight against the big names. And but on the other hand, like from the last time when we promoted to the first Bundesliga, we suffered so much pressure from the police, from politics, from journalists, which is like such a big thing being in first Bundesliga, and it's such more familiar in the second Bundesliga. So
is it a case of there's an appeal in being the underdog as well?
I think it's more easy to be in the first Bundesliga because you are the underdog as St Pauli, and playing the second Bundesliga, coming from the first Bundesliga, you're not the underdog. So I think it's more easy to be the underdog because when you lose, nobody gives a shit. But when we lose today against Cottbus, everybody would be, oh fuck Cottbus, no, please not against Cottbus. Or like we lost both games this season against Aue, and Aue was a very small club from the southern eastern part of Germany, and it's just annoying to lose against Aue because there's nothing to say against Aue, but they're a shit club, they're a shit team. So where's the use in losing 2 times in one season against Aue? Not again, Aue.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, one of the reason I'm doing this is for club FC United. Are you aware of them?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because
there are a few stickers on the back of my.
I mean, what advice would you have any advice for their fans? What does it take to?
I think we could be very proud as FC St Pauli to be such an admirable thing for supporters from FC United of Manchester, because I think FC United of Manchester has got so many things that we don't have anymore. Like, I think it's more fan based than we pretend we are, or you might think we are. So I think we could rather have a look on FC United of Manchester and try to think of what can we take from how you do it in Manchester, than try to give you advice on. That would be an advice. Try to keep it as much fan base as you could, like keep the power to the supporters. That's the main thing, I think. So because when you hire the first guy because he's doing such a good job in his job, and not because he's a supporter of FC United of Manchester, this would be the first step in the wrong direction. So.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, I think.